Well, you may have heard that Costa Mesa is struggling financially, and people are blaming it on COVID-19. But the fact is, we were in a world of hurt financially before the pandemic struck. We're fortunate in Costa Mesa. We have South Coast Plaza and the Harbor Boulevard of cars generating lots of revenue to help meet our financial needs. But, you know, past city leaders realized that that didn't mean we could be spendthrifts. They were careful with the spending. We had pay-as-you-go, low debt. There was always a conservative approach to city finances. A dozen years ago, during the Great Recession, that really paid off because the city ran through $30 million in reserves in just a couple years. But thank heaven, due to the foresight of our past leaders, the money was there. Well, after the recession, the city began to slowly rebuild the reserves, little by little. The reserves went up until 2016, still well below pre-recessionary levels, but going up on a regular basis. But that changed. 2017, reserves dropped, and they've been dropping ever since. So what's really going on here? I mean, look at it. Last year we had peak economic times. The city was struggling to balance its budget. We had to take out a loan to pay for necessary police equipment. It's absurd. The 2019-2020 budget forecast, based on optimistic projections, that we'd be completely out of our reserves by about 2024. And that includes some really rosy type things. For example, we were projected to get a couple $1 million a year in marijuana revenues from businesses set up pursuant to Measure X passed in 2016. Well, we never got more than a couple $100,000. And a few months back, the council majority voted to eliminate pretty much the bulk of that tax. And our budget document said that we have structural deficits in our finances. Well, you know, I could do pie charts, graphs, all kinds of stuff, but really what you want to do is look at what's going on in your neighborhood. On Redwood Avenue, right around the corner from my house, the pavement is falling apart. Check for yourself. All you have to do is look down at the pavement under our feet and see what's going on in the city. We've got cracks, we've got potholes, we've got Band-Aid fixes, and it's a mess. Fairly typical of streets in our tract. And you're going to see stuff like this all over town. More cracks, little patch. And look around. Look at how your parks are being maintained. You're going to see comparable things in our parks. A little rough around the edges, getting a little shaggy here and there. And meanwhile, the city is spending money on frivolous things. We keep adding new positions, like the council aides. We've been spending money on celebrations and special events. And let's face it, you don't waste money on that kind of stuff when your streets look like this. Look at this. You can just, it's just dropping right out. You just pick this stuff up. And here we are. This is what becomes really penny wise and pound foolish. We can't spend money on capital, and we don't repair our streets, and pretty soon they're going to be so bad that you have to go all the way down to the roadbed and replace the whole street. And that's way more expensive than just repairing them. And you can see there's growth coming up, there's chunks coming out, and in addition to that, once you get a good sized pothole, you get a lot of city claims too, because people hit the pothole and then they have damage to their streets. And guess who they come to pay for the fixes? And look at this. I don't even know where this came from. It's obviously being moved around from pothole to pothole, but where it started, nobody knows. Let's see. And I'll put it here so it doesn't wreck anybody's tires. Okay, you have to be careful stepping on this one because the chunks of asphalt just kind of come out as you walk on it. You could see they just keep moving around. And you know, this is right on Redwood, around the corner from my house. So number one, it'll show you that I'm not getting any special treatment to get my own neighborhood fixed up. But the other thing is, this is right near my house. And you will find something like this right near your house, I'm betting. Even worse, we're having a smaller and smaller pot of money to spend on fixing up our city infrastructure. But now, some of our city council members want to enter into a contract with certain unions that promises that all of our public works projects will only be done by members of those unions. And so why does that matter? Because it's going to cost you more. It'll cost 15, 20% more. And that means that we get less for our same amount of tax dollars. And even the laborers don't get anything more. They just get to pay it all extra in union dues. And so, you know, it's really sad, because 5 years ago, the city was able to pay cash for our new fire station. And we were also finishing the year in the black. Just think about it. We paid cash for a fire station, and we still saved money over the course of the year. And now we're lucky if we could fill up a pothole. And look at, we have these grandiose plans for Lions Park. The kiddie play area is still closed off. We're going to be lucky if we get a swing set and a little patch of grass. And so, you know, you have politicians that come to you and they make all these great promises. But really, in the long run, you got to look at what's happening to our city. Rundown streets, rundown parks, and rundown infrastructure. And that's just not right, because your tax dollars are not being spent wisely.